Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. There's a lot of talk, of course, about a reset. Some people call it a currency reset. Some people call it a global economic reset. I've spoken about the reset. I'll put the video up in the card above and in the link a link in the description below. I've spoken about how I think we need to look at the Dow Gold ratio to show us when that rebalancing or reset, if you want to call it, is complete. I also want to talk about what it will mean to all of us, a reset, and why I think it's difficult to know exactly what it will mean for our lives, even though we can try to look back in the past, and that's helpful. I think that the system has been so abused, the monetary system, the financial system, the economic system, that I don't think we've ever seen what we're going to see happen in the past. So it's going to be very difficult. And why am I talking about this? Well, because it looks like the markets are going that way. This morning, things not looking great. And of course, things could change. This is the pre-market for the US. But one thing I would say that will come back in vogue, so to speak, is the concept of gratitude. I think it's an important concept to be thankful for things, and because and I think in the last 30, 40, 50 years, that concept has decreased a lot, mainly because of the system we've had where people can have things very easily through easy credit. So they're not as thankful for things. That's one thing that I think is really, we need to focus on, and something that will definitely be more popular, in my opinion. Before I go on a little more about this, I'll look at the markets, of course, and tell you what I think could happen or might happen later on. It is 8:20 a.m. London time. So right now, spot gold is actually up almost $10. It's at $1231.60. The low has been $1221. Yesterday, I think the low was just below $1220. So gold's held up well. The high has been just below $1233. So looking here at the chart, we've just matched. We've just been under the low, the high from last week. Again, the 1236 level is very key. That was an important low in December of last year. So we're very close to that. It looks like we could break out, if not today, very soon. So precious metals, gold looking quite good. What's the silver price doing? Well, we're up 12. So silver is just outperforming slightly gold in terms of percentage, not greatly. It's at 1468, up 12 cents, and up almost 1%, 0.82%. What about the stock market? I've been talking about this flag, and it looks like this flag is taking shape. Of course, this is the pre-market, the futures, and we don't know what's going to happen by 9:30 a.m. New York time. We could be up 150. But as of now, things are not looking great. The Dow is testing 25,000. It's right now at 25,060, the future. The low has been 25,015. So we're down 260 points, or just over 1%. S&P is broken through 2750. It's actually down 31.5 at 2724. The low has been 2720, and it's down 1.14%. NASDAQ 100 future is down almost 100 points at 7040 and down 1.4%. So stock market not looking great. Currencies. Well, the pound is fairly steady, is unchanged, 129.65. Euro is down 15 pips, so not really moving that much, 114.50, and the dollar actually is down almost 0.5% against the yen. And that again is a sign that risk is growing, risk aversion is growing, because that means people are unwinding their yen carry trades, which means that they've borrowed and gone short in yen to buy risky assets, and now they unwinding it, and that's why the dollar goes down against the yen. What else? Dollar up about 0.1% against the Chinese currency. We're at 694. So the yuan continues to drop a little bit here. Crude oil down 0.2% at 69 WTI. And Brent is down 0.75% at 78.93. Just take a sip of my coffee in my end of Fed mug. It's a Monaco 64 end of Fed mug. If you like to get one, there's link below in the description to the Monaco 64 store. There's other merchandise there as well. Anyway, let's see what else. Bond market. Well, the bond market has rallied a little bit here with the uncertainty in stocks. The 10-year yield has dropped right now. Let's see, 5 basis points to 315, which is still quite elevated. It's still above an old low from this year, around 312. So this means that bond prices have gone up. Does that mean the bear market in bonds is finished? No, not by any stretch, I would say. Italian 10-year yield, or the bonds there, yeah, they've rallied quite a bit since late Friday and yesterday. The bond prices and the yields have dropped. But I would say that Italy is not out of the woods yet. Right now we're up 2 basis points at 351. So the recent high has been 381, I think it was on Friday. So things move in Italy. And believe me, I worked a lot with the Italian markets in the early mid-90s. And late 90s. I did a lot of business with Italy. I did a lot of trading in the Italian bond markets, in the futures market. And I can tell you that Italy is a different animal. Things change very quickly. So don't be complacent. Keep an eye on it. So the reset. As I said, I made a video recently about the reset, what I think, when I thought the reset would be complete. And I said that would mean that the Dow Gold ratio would go somewhere near 1. Of course, that ratio is, as I explained, basically an indicator of how financial assets are doing against the real tangible world, I would say. It measures how much based on reality of the financial markets or paper assets are or aren't against the real world, because gold has been money for thousands of years, and it's tangible and it's real, and you need to work for it to dig it out of the ground. It's not easy to create it willy-nilly out of thin air like paper assets. So historically, when that ratio gets really high, it means that things are bubbly, and the highest it's been was in 2000, which was around just above 40. And then it dropped from above 40 to just below 7 in 2011. Ever since then, with paper assets doing well again and gold and precious metals not doing well, that ratio recently went to a high of 22.5, which is still below that 42 level or so. And I said I thought we were near a top. And since then, we've gone to almost 20 now. It doesn't sound much, but it is. It's almost 10% move. Right now we're around, I calculated this morning, with, let's say, the Dow at 25,050 and gold around 1232. It's around 20.33. So we're still a long way away from that ratio becoming almost 1. I said that it could even go through 1 this time, because we've seen such massive propping up of paper assets the last 50 years, and especially the last 10 years. So that's how I think we will know that the reset will be complete, or the rebalancing of the scale, so to speak. You know, right now we're here, you know, paper assets, real assets down here. There will come a time when we'll be up here to rebalance everything, and that's what I think this will mean. One thing I would say, as I said earlier in the video, the concept of gratitude will be much more important. To be grateful for what you have and what you can able to produce as an income. I think we've had too many years of easy credit, and that will be the main difference. And the other thing I would say is that you know, the minority that has benefited a lot from this system, and I would put there the military-industrial complex, the politicians, the financiers, you know, the people who work at these financial centers. And I have to say, I was one of them. I worked for over 20 years, and a lot of these people don't know, you know, the bigger picture. So they will get hurt because, as I said earlier, Wall Street is more than just an enabler now. It's a master. I think that will change when we have a reset. Yeah, the economy will change. How it will look, I don't know. But I think the speculation, trading, leverage buyouts, hedge funds, private equity, all that will, you know, all the economists, think tanks, all that will shrink in importance, in my opinion. We've got too much of a bubble in that sense, that all these, you know, the World Economic Forum in Davos, all those things are going to probably not be as important, and might even not be there anymore. And that's not a bad thing, but it will be hard also for the general public. Some of the people who have who have the mindset that things can keep going on like this forever, house prices going up, borrowing going up, that will change. So that's my view of it. We'll have to wait and see, of course. I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow, but I think we're on the way. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Steemit, DTube, and on Twitter. I wish you all a great day. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.